Hello everyone. So today we're going to be talking about a Batman villain, and of course we're going to be talking about Professor Achilles Milo. Milo's first appearance was in Detective Comics number 247 and was created by Bill Finger and Sheldon Moldoff. Now, Achilles Milo is a renowned chemist who turned to crime. Achilles used a variety of chemical and medical related schemes to kill Batman, involving subjecting Batman to a drug that made him afraid of anything bat-shaped, which is pretty funny. After Robin helps him get over his fear of bats, Batman tracked down Milo at his laboratory and handed him over to the police. While incarcerated, Milo developed a fear of bats on his own. And to counteract that problem, Batman simply just dons a different costume for a time. Now, upon being apprehended again, Milo gasps Batman with a compound that makes him lose his will to live. Talk about pretty dark. Now, when Anthony Lupus visited him for a cure for his unbearable headaches, Milo gave him a drug that was derived from an Alaskan timber wolf, which actually turns him into a werewolf. Milo then finds out that the headaches are caused by the lycanthropy and manipulates him into doing his bidding in exchange for a cure. His latest assignment was to help capture Batman, but when Batman was trapped near Milo's secret laboratory, Milo is told by Anthony to give him the cure before the situation worsens. Now, Milo orders him to do his job, but when Anthony turns into a werewolf, Milo is attacked by him instead, where he is unable to control him, and the cure he made was actually destroyed. And at one time, Milo takes control of Arkham Asylum completely and attempted to make Batman insane with yet another type of gas. Now, when Batman tries to apprehend him, Milo was overpowered by the mad inmates, and then exposed himself to his own gas, which then drove him insane, and he spent some time in Arkham Asylum as a patient himself. Now, Batman on a few occasions has consulted Milo on chemical expertise and toxin warfare. He actually asks about a toxin given to him by the Joker. Now, after that, Dr. Milo retired from criminal activity altogether. He appears in Arkham Asylum, a serious house on Sirius Earth, where the gas had apparently worn off, but he couldn't convince anyone that he was actually sane. Now, in 52, in week 41, Ralph Dibny confronts an emaciated Dr. Milo, who appears without his lower legs in a wheelchair, which is actually used to disguise the silver wheel of Neirath. In Batman R.I.P., a past hallucination induced by Professor Milo's gas is revealed to have inspired Bruce Wayne to create the, quote, backup personality of the Batman Zerina, which is basically a more ruthless Batman personality designed to take over in the event of Bruce Wayne being psychologically attacked in such a manner that is to render Batman out of action. An apparently healed Professor Milo appears as the chief henchman and physician of a returned General Immortus. Professor Milo is now in charge of granting artificial superpowers to Immortus's minions. In this capacity, he is able to internalize the human flame's powers, removing his need for a special suit by embedding miniature flamethrowers into his skin. Milo is instructed by General Immortus himself to tamper with the pain receptors of his subject, making his boss able to inflict pain on his creations at will, and eventually shut them down altogether. His master plan, however, meets a major failure when his last subject, Human Flame, overcomes his control just by sheer will, then injuring General Immortus and tortures Milo to get an even more powerful body. Milo is spared since he redirects the Human Flame to Star Labs for experimental treatments. General Immortus then asks him to rethink their new strategy for the future. A still-at-large Milo, having severed ties with General Immortus altogether, returns to freelancing, offering his enhancement procedures for a hefty fee. He is contacted by Arthur Pemberton to heal the brain damage earlier inflicted in a fight against the Justice Society of America to his daughter, Lorna. Now, in 2011, when the New 52 was rebooted in the DC Comics universe, Professor Milo is seen at Arkham Asylum, where he leads Professor Pig to an unpleasant fate. Now, after Maggie Sawyer had interrogated Magpie, Maxie, Zeus, and the Tin-Eyed Man, all Maggie got out of them was that they blamed Professor Milo for what happened. As Professor Milo is at Gotham International Airport, preparing to board an airplane to Caracas, He is spotted by police officers, causing him to release a vial of chemicals that drive the police officers insane. Now, Batman was able to subdue Professor Milo and interrogate him on who gave him the information and needs to destroy Arkham Asylum. Before Professor Milo can come clean on the culprit, they are attacked by spirits. Now, one of the spirits that attacks Batman and Professor Milo is actually Mr. Bygone, who blames Professor Milo for his emaciation and infusion of dark magic. Professor Milo is knocked out by Mr. Bygone as Batman leaves with his body when the police arrive. When Batman meet up with Jim Corrigan and Batwing, Professor Milo is punched in the face by Corrigan, who tries to get answers out of him as he explains to Batman that Professor Milo tried to summon a demon which enabled Deacon Blackfire to open a hole to hell. Batman puts two and two together and goes out to find Ra's al Ghul. Now, as far as the powers and abilities of this character goes, Professor Milo has really no physical or otherworldly talents, other than that he is an expert at chemistry and alchemy, and those two together end up being a problem for Batman as well as other villains and just regular people in general, because this character can make you see fears just like the Scarecrow can. He can also make it to where you don't even want to live anymore just with his chemical compounds, you breathing them in. So we would say that this character is a probably B-level villain, but still pretty neat that he was able to make Batman just lose his will to live. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful afternoon, a good morning, a good day, whichever. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We do really appreciate that. Also, go to the comment section down below, write down a character, a villain, a hero, an anti-hero, whichever that you would like to hear about, and we'll try to make that happen on this channel. As always, Excelsior, see ya.